Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful reading. I'm Joy Youngs, welcome. So basically in this reading we'll provide you for May the 4th to May 10th of 2025. This reading is going to provide about what's going on in this whole entire sequence of what's going on in this whole entire dilemma of how it seems to be. And knowing about what's going on in that way, we have to understand about what's going on in that category about what's going on in that way of how it is, right? We have to understand about how we can understand and believe that everything seems to be fine. And when we have to impose about that situation, we have to do what it takes to understand about how we can do what we can and understand about how we are feeling. That's the way it kind of occurs, right? So when we have our own discipline, we have to understand that. We have to make sure about everything's fine or dandy or what have you. And when things could be very how it is, we have to understand that. We have to go with the flow. We have to do what we can, but then we have to understand about what it takes beyond about that point, beyond about what's going on in that way, right? That's the way it is at the moment, right? So we have to understand about how we can do that, and when we're not, we have to do what we need to be chose to do in our own prefix of how it seems to be. We have to understand about what's going on that way. We have to believe what we're going to be told to do, or if we're going to be having our own responsibilities, whatever it is. But we have to understand about how we're going to do that in a one way of another to understand of how we're going to impress on how we are feeling. That's the way it kind of occurs. So we have to understand about the way of how this is and the way of how this seems to be, because we have to understand that of how it's going to be in that way. We have to understand about this whole entire situation. So I hope you all like this video. Please get a like, please get a comment and enjoy, because it's the way it seems to be. And knowing about what's going on that way, we have to understand about how we're going to believe that in one way or another. We have to face about our own abilities from the way of how we can understand of how it is. We have to believe that, right? We have to understand how it seems to be. So we have to do what it takes. But here we go. So basically, in this wonderful setting here, is that we have the Ace of Cups up right there. Is basically a romance situation. The Justice up right, you're telling the truth. The Hangman is up right, you have restrictions, and Nine of Swords reverse, there's no trauma in this situation. But there are things you must learn first in order to understand how it seems to be, because you have to believe that everything seems to be fine and dandy, and you're saying, well, this is a very good, interesting way. I need to get this how it seems to be. Yes, it is. But in that way, we have to understand about how we can focus on our own ways of what's going on in this whole entire diagram. So I'll do a 3-card reading for on the left side, then in the middle, and then on the right. So let's see. The Tower reverse, followed with the Devil reverse, followed with the Page of Swords is up right now, because there's education here. So when you're getting educated, you know what to do, you know how you can understand that, because you have your own beliefs about saying, well, this is the way it goes. I need to get this done. I need to deal with it and all that stuff. That's the way it goes, right? Whenever you decide about what's going on, that's the way it seems to be. You do what you can. You love or you hate or whatever it is, but then you understand about how it's going to be in that way, right? You have to get educated. You have to understand how you can do it in the one way or another. That's the way it seems to be. What's between the Tower and the Devil situation? The Empress is right, yeah, because you have a nourishment. You do what you can, but then it's like, okay, I know what to do, I got this, but then that's what it seems to be. You have to level up. You have to enjoy what you're having in one or another. That's the way it seems to be. What's between the Ace of Cups and the Hangman? The Knight of Pentacles reversed, followed by the Four of Cups is upright, followed by the Seven of Swords is upright. Yeah, because you're going to have a distraction. You're going to have deceit, like you're feeling how it is. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, you're not having any trust with anybody. I don't know why about that. But the way of how this is, you have to understand that, right? So you could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You could deal with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. there are things that you must learn first in order to do that. Right? You have to gain about how you can understand of how you're feeling, how you're going to get what you want, how you can understand that. That's what it seems to be. You have to know what it takes, because beyond about that point, beyond about the compare and contrast situation, you know what it is, right? That's why that things have to be the way of how it is. Whether if you're masculine or feminine, as the women or men situation, you know what it takes. You know how you can do it in one way or another. You have to be open-minded or whatever it is. That's what it seems to be. What's happening with this Justice card to the Hangman? Page of Pentacles is upright, follow the Sun card is upright, follow the Eight of Pentacles reversed, follow the Two Wands is upright. Yeah. So basically it means that the cards are telling me that you're going to be planning on something. The Sun card represents Leo because there's a fire sign here, but you're paying, you're staying positive. And the Page of Pentacles is upright, there's prospects here. That's the way it goes, right? So you have to have the way of how you can do it in one or another. You need to believe that everything's fine, but think, well, this is the way it goes. This is an opportunity to how I can understand about this grasp situation, about knowing what to do, knowing what it takes, knowing about how it is. And whenever you decide to, that's the way it goes, right? Because you have to believe in order to do that, right? Seeing is believing, believing is seeing. That's all you can do. But then you have to realize about what it takes in that circumstance. So let's see what's going on for the right side, please. The Star reversed, follow the Magician is upright, follow the Hermit is upright. Yeah, because you're looking for solitude, and the Magician is upright because you want to have skill. Basically, that's the way it seems to be, because you're going to try to get involved of how it seems to be in that way. What's happening with the Star here? The Sun reversed. Yeah, because you're in negativity. Yeah, because when you're in negativity between positivity, you're trying to know what it takes. You're trying to get involved. You're trying to get what you want to do. That's the way it seems to be. Because in that way, you're thinking, well, I know what to do. I know what it takes. I know how I can do things. That's the way it goes, right? You're trying to impress of how you can do it in one way or another. You're trying to just to impress, whatever it is. But you know what I mean, right? That's why it seems to be in that way. What's between the middle and the left side? The Hangman reverse, follow the Tower is upright, follow the Temperance reverse, follow the Judgment reverse, follow the Magician reverse, follow the Moon reverse, follow the Chariot is upright. Yeah, because you want to have progress, and you want to have transformation, like you're going to be changing, that's the way it goes, because you're trying to figure out how you can express yourself, because in that way, you're trying to figure out what it takes beyond that point. You're trying to know what it is. You're trying to get what you want. You're trying to have all these experiences, whether you like it or not. That's why it seems to be that. So let me go from the middle to left, middle to right. The Ten of Swords is upright, followed the King of Swords reverse, followed by the Six of Wands reverse, followed by the Two of Wands is upright. Yeah, because, between the right side and left side means that there's planning, and the right side means it's planning. So there are two plans here, whether you like it or not, but don't know what it is. But let's see what's going on for the left side, shall we? Let me clarify the Two of Wands here. The Eight of Cups is upright, follow the Judgment reverse, follow the King of Cups reverse, follow the Seven of Cups reverse, follow the Two of Pentacles is upright. Yeah, because that means that you're going to balance two things at once. The Eight of Cups represents basically entertainment. That's the way it goes in that way, because you're trying to figure out what you're going to be doing in that way. You're trying to understand that how we can believe about how it's going to be in that way. You're trying to figure out how you can have your own skill, your own prosperity, whatnot, right? That's the way it seems to be, right? You're trying to induce your own ways of how you can consider your own beliefs or whatever it is, but then you have your own behaviors or whatever it is, but then you have all these conclusions, right? You're going to just say, why I'm having all these conclusions, why I'm not doing this, because things are not going as planned, things are not going as your way or anything like that. That's the way it seems to be. Now, what's happening with those two ones on the right side, please? Let me clarify. The Hermit reversed, follow the Magician is upright, follow the King of Pentacles reversed, follow the Four of Wands is upright. Yeah, because there's celebration here. Yeah, there's celebration, there's skill, because that's the way it kind of looks like in this wonderful feeling. It's the way it goes. What's in the middle of this situation? The King of Wands reversed, but with the Queen of Cups is upright. Yeah, because you're trying to, it's called empathy. There's two sides of the story here. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean. You have to understand about how you can improve yourself wisely to do what it takes to get involved of how you're doing, how you're hovering, how are you improve yourself wisely of how it seems to be. So you're trying to understand about how you can do it in one or another. So let me go from the middle to the left, middle to the right. So the Page of Cups reversed, there's no loyalty. Five of Cups reversed, there's no grief. Three of Cups separate, there's celebration. The Three of Swords reversed, there's no heartbreak. The Queen of Cups reversed, there's no empathy. Six of Swords separate, there's movement. Yeah, that's the way it goes, right? Because you're moving along of the situation. You know what it takes. You know how you can do it. That's the way it goes. You're basically celebrating on something. That's the way it goes. When you're celebrating, you're drinking or whatever it is. But then you understand about how you can get involved of how it seems to be in that way. And you're thinking, well, this is the way it goes. I need to get this. I need to do whatever I need to do. And when it is that, that's the way it kind of involves of that situation, whether you like it or not. That's how it seems to be. What's between the middle and the right side? Eight of Swords yours, there's no anxiety. Queen of Wands side, there's charisma. Seven of Cups yours, there's no delusion. Queen of Swords side, there's independence. Yeah, because you want to do things by yourself. You want to do that as the way of how it seems to be, because this is not like a letting go situation. This is the way how it involves. That's why it seems to be in that way, because you need to understand about how you can impress of knowing what to do in that way. What's in the middle of this situation? The Five of Pentacles over there is insecurity. Yeah, because you're feeling like, why I'm feeling insecurity. Why I'm all, having all this way. Why I'm in a bad habit. Because when you have to understand that, that's the way it seems to be. You have to know what it takes, and you have to do what it kind of is. So this is the way it seems to be. This is the way it kind of goes, because you have to understand that in one way or another. You have to do what it can to do exactly what you're told to do, but you have to be responsible how it is, and this is the way it seems to be. This whole entire reading does make sense, but when you pay attention, you have to know what it is in one or another. You have to do what it takes. You have to do what you can, but that's how it seems to be. You have to know exactly how it is, right? Because you have to know about what it takes, what you want, what you need to guide, whatever it is. But when you're feeling like insecurity, or when you're feeling like you're being shy or whatever, you can't speak or whatever it is, that's why it seems to be that. You need to understand about how it is in one or another. That's the way it goes. You're trying to not let it go, but you know what I mean, right? That's why it seems to be that. And when things go in a different way, you have to know what it is, but that's how it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. Please give it a like, please give it a comment, and this is the way it seems to be, and this is the way it happens. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now, really. Thank you, and bye.